Hi everyone, this is In the Library. I'm your personal librarian, Bill Georato. And on today's episode, we're going to be discussing 10 tips for editing your writing. So come on in, take a seat, and let's turn some pages. Okay, so point number one is you want to define why you're going to edit your writing. First of all, you want to have the best writing out there that you can get, and editing absolutely will help you do that, of course. But even with that, you want to present your work to editors or agents if you're inclined to do so, or wanting to do that, with your best work possible, because there's not a lot of editors out there. There's fewer than ever before, and they will do anything to say no. So don't give them an opportunity to say no, or give them as little opportunity as possible. So that's why you want to actually do editing. Point number two, what are you looking for? You're looking for any little thing that needs to be corrected. You want to look for words that are out of place. Maybe you eliminated a passage and somehow a word got left behind. So you want to look for that. You want to look for verb tenses. You want to look for, if it's a fictional work, you want to look for characters. Make sure characters are consistent throughout. If a character changes their name, you want to make sure you explain that, and not just have it happen randomly. Bad math is a big thing. If you say a character was born in 1980 and that character does something when they're 10 years old, you'll want to make sure that it happens in 1990. So you want to keep an eye on those kinds of things. Number three, show, don't tell. You want to be very descriptive. It's not necessary to spend 6 pages describing something, but you do want to be very descriptive. If somebody does something, explain how they're doing it, why they're doing it. Is there anyone else there helping them? If they go somewhere, where did they go? Why did they go there? What does the place look like? So you want to show, don't tell. Number 4, cliches. Cliches are situations, and they could also be characters, a cliched character. Basically, you want to do something different. Okay? Show your reader, show your audience something that they haven't seen before when they read this kind of work. One could say that if you're a Star Trek character and you're wearing a red shirt and you go down to the planet, you're gonna die. Okay? That could be kind of a cliche in the world of Star Trek. So do something different. Have them survive the away trip and make it back up to the ship. And situations can be cliched, and plot lines can be cliched. We all know what happens in a love story. We all know the basic plot points of a love story. Do something different. Throw something a little bit new in there. That's all I'm saying on this. Number 5. And I had never heard of this one until I started looking into research for this video, but there's something called empty adverbs. Empty adverbs, you want to watch your use of adverbs anyway, but empty adverbs are adverbs that bring nothing to the description. Usually they're descriptive adverbs. And they just bring nothing. There's no point to them. These are adverbs like suddenly or literally or completely, totally. Like in the sentence, he was totally miserable without her. Well, yeah, if he's miserable, he's probably going to be totally miserable. So you don't need to tell me that he's totally miserable. You can leave the totally out, and everyone will know what you mean if you just say he was miserable without her. So empty adverbs are a thing, apparently, and you want to watch out for them. The next thing, point 6, is monotonous rhythm. This refers to a variety of sentences, meaning you want to have a variety in your sentences. Have longer sentences, have shorter sentences. This monotonous rhythm, your reader might get bored, because they know what's going to come. They don't know the words that are going to come, but they know the beat in which they will come. So a good way to check for this is to clap the beat of your sentences and consider each syllable to be one beat. Okay? And if you have 3 or 4 or 5 sentences in a row that have the same beat, mix it up a little bit because you're going to have monotonous rhythm. I'm going to put up an example on the next bit of the video, and go ahead and try it out. That these are 3 sentences in a row that has monotonous rhythm. So you're going to want to change this. And in fact, tell me on my socials how you would break the beat of this little paragraph here, and yet still say the same thing. Let's talk about it on my socials. Okay. Attend to word swaps and misspellings. This you want to be careful of because a lot of words are spelled correctly, but they're not the word that you mean to use where they are. In other words, this is particularly true with words that sound the same but have different meanings and different spellings, like there, and there. It's or its, two, and two. TO is a different meaning and a different spelling than TOW, which has a different meaning and a different spelling than TOO. And yet they all are pronounced the same way. So in your writing, you want to keep an eye out on that. And spell check doesn't necessarily catch that because the word is spelled correctly. Just the grammar is wrong. And sometimes grammar check isn't totally accurate either. So you're going to want to look for yourself and keep an eye out on that. A lot of times it's just a typo, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody types perfectly 100% of the time. But these are things that you're going to want to edit before you turn your writing into anyone. Okay, number 8 is contractions. Contractions are an okay thing to use. There's nothing wrong with using them. They're used a lot in commercial writing. They're used a lot, of course, in dialogue, in fictional writing, or reporting, if you're quoting somebody. Nothing wrong with using contractions. What you do want to keep an eye out for is keep in mind your characters. When you're talking about, say, dialogue in fictional writing. If it doesn't make sense for your character to use contractions, don't make them use contractions. You know? In commercial writing, perfectly legitimate to use contractions. You know? You just want to, going back to the previous point, be careful with the its and its. You know, apostrophe s is a contraction that means it is. S with no apostrophe, just its, is the possessive pronoun. So you want to be careful with that, things like that. But generally, contractions, you're good. Just make sure it makes sense for what you're doing and what you want to convey. Point 9. Print it out. Sometimes seeing something on paper is better than seeing it on screen. And this is, for me, of course, I'm a person of a certain age. This is not true of all people of certain ages, but it's true of me. I enjoy reading, even if it's just not editing, just regular reading on paper than I do on screen. So print it out. You can feel the paper in your hand. It's a very tactile thing. So you're using sight and you're using feeling. So two senses are involved, and it activates more of your brain when you do that than if you're just looking at it on the screen. And you may see things and catch things you want to edit or that need to be edited more that way than you would if it's just on the screen. This isn't true of everybody, of course. None of this is true of everybody. These are just my thoughts, but it's worth a try. Worth a try, especially if it's a particularly short piece. You know, we can print it double-sided. That's fine. You know, but give it a try editing on paper. And number 10, the last point, get some alpha and beta readers. These are your first readers of your work, even if the work isn't officially done. You still want to get some readers in as you're getting towards the end of your writing process. Alpha readers are people in freelance editors, freelance writers, friends from a writing group that you're in. Anyone like that who has sort of any kind of connection to the industry. Just have them take a pass at it and take their comments as constructive criticism. We all want to help each other here. We all want each other to get better. So don't take it personally what they say. You can always ignore whatever you want to ignore. And then after you incorporate those, put it out to your beta readers. And beta readers are representatives of your audience. These are the people who would download the audiobook. Well, they wouldn't be reading an audiobook, but you'd still be the same words. Download the audiobook, reading the digital book, reading the paper book. You know, these are people in your audience for that particular piece of work. See what they have to say. What do they like about it? What do they not like about it? How is it working for them? And incorporate that into as you get towards the end of your editing process. And that's it for this week. Those are my 10 tips for editing your writing. There's lots of tips out there, and I'd like to know what your tips are. Let's talk about it on the socials. All the links are down below, along with some links related to this subject, including a blog post that I put up if you want a written version of this video. Next time, I'm going to be reviewing Mike Rowe's book, The Way I Heard It. In the meantime, please be sure to take a look at some of the other videos mentioned in the end card. And thank you for watching. Thank you to the First 10 Club. Please be sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell, share, like, and all that other good stuff. And we'll see you later. Keep on reading.